Again, as long as it's not lifting. If it's lifting, yes, soak it off about 10% or 20% of it, then that's fine. But scrape it gently. You don't have to even leave a small margin is good, like I'm doing here. Tiffany and I, we travel a lot. Sometimes we do 2 school a week, and sometimes we do content between that. And different content, we need different shape or different product. I could do gel overlay or I could do gel extension. And that's how I keep her nail healthy. And you can see it. I don't have lines and lines, which is called rings of fire. Okay, guys? So that's how I maintain her healthy natural nail plate. Okay? All right. So being said that, so now I'm just going to go with the first thing with cuticle pusher. Always try to taunt out the skin and try to lift away all the dead skin cell or dry tissue off the natural nail plate before you work. This is very important because if you don't do this well, within a week, less than a week, usually the dead tissue, which is all the dry dead skin, will be dry and lifted off from natural nail plate. So anything that you put on top of it will naturally lift as well. That's why you see a lot of lifting if you don't prep the nails well. So right now in school, you may or may not start using e-file yet. So the first thing, again, always push back the cuticle with, metal pusher or orange wood stick. That's fine. Just do it gently. And the next thing, if you don't have an e-file, when you buy a kit from us, this is our buffer, and we have one side with 180 like this, and the other side is 100. It's slightly a little bit more texture, but it's a buffer, but it has like a little rounded edge like this. We designed this because we want you to use it and buff the nail and take the shine off, and that's how you prep if you don't have an e-file. Just take it and gently, you can push back the cuticle and also work on the crevices with the rounded edge like this. It allows you to go tight and push that away. All right?
I'm sorry.
It's a buffer.
Yeah, that buffer you can use for a gel manicure as well?
Yes. Any buffing technique that I'm prepping technique, this prepping technique is all universal for any product you're using. Prepping is just a technique, but it doesn't matter what product you use. The prepping is always the same.
I've seen a lot of people use hand files, but they're very harsh, right?
The reason I don't recommend hand file because it's a little bit more rough. Yeah. This one, because it's a buffer texture, so it's slightly more gentle and allows you to go, cause like I said, the corner kind of mimic the cuticle area anyways. So it allows you to work on it without hurting the cuticles. That's the most sensitive area anyway. So that's why. Thank you for that questions. So if you have an e-file, like I said, I've been teaching e-file for more than 10 years now. So, and also help, companies develop products and all that. So when it comes to e-file, I love this. This is one area I'm very passionate about because this is an area you can do good or you can do bad to yourself and others. Right? So techniques is really key. Once you have techniques, I honestly tell you, it helps you move your routine more efficiently, and that's how you earn more income in a salon in the future. All right. So first thing first, if let's just say after I push back the cuticle, I always taunt the skin on the side and start going in one direction and gently. And before I start, just in case you're gonna start practicing, this is all professional e-file. When you prep, if you don't have a dial, think of this, usually all the way, I would say average is about 30,000 RPM or 25,000 RPM. Let's just say for the sake of this, it is 30, but most general e-file is 30. So you kind of want to just dial in like a quarter. So you want to use between 3 to 7,000 RPM only for prepping. That's the rule, because you use more than that, it's just too much force, and then it just not safe for prepping. Okay, so prepping, remember, start from 3. That's the lowest I think you should start, but if you want to go higher, and you can go up to 7, but no more than that. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna start around 5 or 6, and you could see even this. Look, I'm not hurting her because the type of sanding band I'm using, this is the medium sanding band, and the speed that I'm using, I'm really gently and with the slow motion that I'm doing right here. You could see I'm not hurting her at all. And what I'm doing just right now, I'm just buffing, take the shine off, taking any oil or any debris off the surface and just kind of prep the nail. A lot of products nowadays, to be honest with you, is really good product. If you use good professional product, a lot of product has really good adhesion, so you don't really need to over prep the nails. Okay, all you do is lightly buff the surface and take the shine off, the oil off, and that's all you need. I do recommend taking a little time to prep the cuticle area, especially when it comes to gel extension or even acrylic application. Actually, when your cuticle is nicely prepped and contoured, you could see there's a straight line where the skin is at, so you don't flood the product over the skin. So this is why prepping is so key. It's not only help you guide for your application, but then at the end, after you're done with everything, your gel application will be more flawless because you have a nice, clean nail prepped. Okay. So what I'm doing right now, you can see it's really easy. I'm just gently taking the bit, kind of a little bit lightly over the cuticle a little bit, but mainly just around taking the shine off and buff all the oil, anything that have a little bit left on I still have product left on the nail. So it's really quick and gentle. Again, I'm doing to show you that you don't have to go really hard around the cuticle area. And the reason I'm taking a little time too, because at the same time, I can also take this sanding band and see any little bit of lifting area that I have, I can buff it away and work on a dry skin. Usually, on the side of people's hand, especially with this season, we really have dry, kind of little callus skin on the side. And you can also use this to prep that as well. Just so when you're done with all the prepping, I like to have everything nice and clean, so then you don't have to go back and prepare that later. Kind of take advantage of what you're using at the time and do as most as possible, so then you don't have to go back again. Yes, you have a question?
Question on the green tip. Is that a rubber in the center? Looks like a soft.
It's really soft. The reason we like to use our green, because the sanding band, it comes with different color. And the reason it comes with different color is because even though it's a sanding paper, but the texture is different. And I find that the green is the most soft. And even though it's medium, it's very nice and smooth. It's not as rough as other sandpaper. To us, in my experience with, like I said, I find this is the best product out there.
There's a little bit of rubber in there, right?
It's a sanding band, but okay, think of sanding band like, a file, and a sanding band is technically is the same material, but this is more linear, and this is just more to fit in the manual for e-file. So think of that, okay?
But that one is softer than the hand file.
The material we use, yeah, it's slightly softer, but all the product, even our buffer and file, trust me, we use top quality products.
If you were removing product off of her nail, what file would you be using?
I was gonna go that next, but that's okay.
Can I get one
Yes,
to pass
yes.
around?
Yeah,
Just
you
to
can
let
have
people
few.
feel
Just
it.
no, you can have it. We
Oh,
do
just
have.
one?
You can have share it. Yeah, share it around. We do have it if you get interested. And I like it because with the e-file, it doesn't vibrate, so you can see the smooth motion that I'm doing. It's very nice. Yes, thank you for that questions. When it comes to prepping, this is our bit kit. We designed this bit just for beginners in mind, so you have everything in one bit. All right. So for prepping, okay, she was asking me, does it matter what I use to prep and what kind of bit? Okay. For prepping, if you're taking notes, for prepping on a natural nail plate or backfill, any natural nail prepping, you are allowed to use fine or medium sanding band or diamond bit only for natural nail prepping. okay? But for removal and for after you have the enhancement on, any type of enhancement on, you're allowed to use call by bit. You see the difference here? Don't, because I know you guys learning still. So pay attention why we call this diamond bit and why we call this call by bit. Because this one has flutes. And this one, it's just a diamond, fine diamond particle that impregnated in a plain steel. Okay? This one has flute. It's almost like teeth. So the coarser it has more gaps, and the flute is more deep. So the finer it is, it has more flute, and it's the depth of the flute is smaller. Does that make sense, guys? So that's why we have fine to extra coarse for that reason. I highly recommend extra coarse for acrylic, for removal, and anything else you could use coarse. But if you are starting out, you could use a new medium to remove gel, because gel is much softer than acrylic. So if you use a new medium call by bit to remove, that's okay too. Okay? Any more questions? Does that make sense?
So what was the first, what for the bedding and the backfill? What was the bit called?
Okay, so again, for the prepping for any backfill or any natural nail prepping, you could use fine or medium sanding band or any diamond bit, which that's what I'm using today. Strictly just a fine sanding band, medium sanding band and medium diamond bit. That's it for prepping. This one is only for removal, or if you have enhancement and you want refine, meaning you want to make it nice and smooth after you have product, then start using fine or medium. For removal, coarse and extra coarse. Yeah, you guys got it? Okay, good. Yeah, stop. Yes, yeah.
What about when it starts getting really close to the nail? Would you switch over to a buffer or still with your?
You could use, I can demonstrate that for you today. You could use a fine or old medium call by bit. The reason I love this call by bit is a 3-in-1. You don't see it yet, but if you want to touch it and feel it at the end of my demo, you can come up and ask me. But the bit that I have here, the reason I love it is because it's taper in the front, but it's bigger in the back. And the top here is not blunt straight. It has slightly smoothness. This one is too round for the cuticle. Okay, this one is great for removal because it allows you to remove, and because it's not straight, it doesn't give you that line when you shave down the product. So that's another different. That's why e-file class is really important if you guys really interested in this, because it's really helped you know exactly what you're using and when to use it, so you maximize your product without buying 1,000 of the call by bits. And then this one, I like it. The reason I like it because it's like slightly taper, but it's not straight, where it allows you to go close to the cuticle area, but it's not too big where you can't go too tight. Does that make sense? So that's why. Okay? All right. So next, I'm just going to I already prepped with the sanding band, and now I'm going to go in another further step to go in with a diamond prep bit. This bit, we do have it as well. And with the same speed, between 3 to 7,000 RPM, however you're comfortable with, stay within that bit, then you are safe. So now, even though I go and prep the nail earlier already, but you can see this allows me to go even further and prep the nail even better. You see how the cuticle more contour now? Because with this bit, it's nice and gentle and it's not abrasive. So it allows me to go even tighter to the crevices of that cuticle area and clean out all the dry, dead tissue and taunt the skin back a little bit more and just give it more contour shape to the nail. So then later when you're done with the application, like I said, it gives you a nice guideline to apply gel color in your application as well. So you can see with the same technique that I shared with you earlier, it's the same technique, but this allows me to go even tighter the cuticle area and give you a nice flawless, kind of like a dry manicure. You can see I did a little bit earlier already, but even that, you can see a lot more dry skin is coming off what I'm doing. I mean, in the salon, this is what I do. And then if I see any dry, this also help because once I push everything back, I see all the dry cuticle. If I need to, I can nip easily. You know exactly what you're nipping instead of just blindingly nipping away. But I guess in school, you're not allowed to use that. So, and I don't know, does state board allow you to use EFA in school now? No?
You have to hand file everything.
And five. But I know you guys may want to practice if you guys consider to go into the nail industry. I would say highly take a class so then you don't create a bad habit. Okay, please. All right. But you just quickly, I'm just gonna spray it with alcohol. Okay, and you can see how the skin is nicely taut and clean with just simply pushing it back and 2-step of cleaning the cuticle with the surface. You can see this is a good, fast, dry manicure that I'm doing here. And these are the same techniques I've been using in the salon. So I know it's safe. All right? Okay. Any questions so far? So next, I'm going to show you how to size, selecting the tips, sizing and tailoring the tips. Okay, guys?